Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Come closer, my audience. Let us open the book to Jimmy's Flowering Fairy Tales. Once upon a time, there was a king who wanted to go fishing. He called the royal weather forecaster and inquired as to the weather forecast for the next few hours. The weatherman assured him that there was no chance of rain in the coming days. So, the king went fishing with his wife, the queen. On the way, he met a farmer on his donkey. Upon seeing the king, the farmer said, "Your Majesty, you should return to the palace at once, because in just a short time I expect a huge amount of rain to fall in this area." The king was polite and considerate. He replied, "I hold the palace meteorologist in high regard. He is an extensively educated and experienced professional. And besides, I pay him very high wages. He gave me a very different forecast. I trust him, and I will continue on my way." However, a short time later, a torrential rain fell from the sky. The king and queen were totally soaked, and their entourage chuckled upon seeing them in such a shameful condition. Furious, the king returned to the palace and gave the order to fire the weatherman at once. Then he summoned the farmer and offered him the prestigious and high-paying role of royal forecaster. The farmer said, "Your Majesty, I do not know anything about forecasting. I obtain my information from my donkey. If I see my donkey's ears drooping, it means with certainty that it will rain." So the king hired the donkey. And so began the practice of hiring jackasses to work in government and occupy its highest and most influential positions. There you have it. Here comes Kate Smith, and God Bless America. Woo! Followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Welcome to Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And, of course, some of our great advertisers, including Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. And, of course, our friends at Valleywide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch. And today, all day long, any size fountain drink, only 50 cents at Valleywide Home and Ranch. Right now, let's say good morning and get our Pledge of Allegiance.
Good morning, Zeb.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You don't have any donkeys you want to sell, do you?
No.
God bless you. Thank you much for your call. All right. Take care. Thank you.
You always come up with it, don't you?
I get my foot in it. Yes, I do. Anyway, thank you much. Oh, my goodness sakes. Good man right there. Good friend. Hey, it is time to tell you that Ted's Diesel Electric is moving to 635 21st Street in Heyburn. Doug Martin and the crew, they're all moving to rebuild your starters, alternators, and generators to a more handy place. You better believe it. To 635 21st Street in Heyburn. Ted's Diesel and Electric. Electric. Time for the weather, and the weather is brought to you by our dear friends. I really, really enjoy these people. They put their heart and soul into our weather forecast, and of course also what they do every day with newly refurbished furniture and carpet and flooring and kitchen construction, all the home decor items. They know home decor. So whatever you need to make your house a home, get a hold of Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. Here now, our weather. Here now, our weather.
Sorry, sir.
Let's get it on, buddy.
There's a problem.
What is the problem?
It was set to a different ID.
Well, would you please rectify that and get the weather? Call me and let me know when the weather's ready, okay? And I'll tell everybody about Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. Don't forget they've got whatever you need to make your house a home, and we'll get that weather forecast for you in just a little bit. I think they're calling for a little bit of a respite today of some of the rain and some of the showers, but we could have some wet conditions coming in on tomorrow and then again on Saturday, and we'll try to get that weather rectified and should have it in just a few minutes. Right now, let's sell some cattle. How about Merv May? Where are you?
All right, a good set of steer calves there, here to get $31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5.
That's the chant of Merv May, the world's best auctioneer at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. The number to call for consignments and information, 678-9411. Merv May, Cade Rogge, Lance Udy, the whole crew in the sale starting this morning at 10:30. Don't you miss it. They're going to have consignments coming in from Eric Case a lot at Rogerson. 72 head of mixed yearlings, 750 to 950 pounds, good cattle. Brian Kincaid at Connor Creek. How you doing, Brian? 25 head of 500-pound steers, along with Award Dairy bringing in 60 head of 1,050-pound Holstein steers. Midway Dairy over at Cotterell, Holstein heifers coming in. And butcher cows on the list this morning. Ray Sorensen out of Howell, Utah, bringing in a trailer load of butcher cows. TLK Dairies, semi-load of butcher cows. Aramo Ranch, and that's up at Malda. 8 head of butcher bulls. Ward Dairy, 16 butcher cows, and the Oak Valley Dairy, 35 head of butcher cows. You bet, along with a really big and great trailer line run. Don't miss it, starting at 10:30 this morning. The sale that works for you. Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. And Merv, sell those steers.
All right, a good set of steer calves there, here to get $31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 130, 550, 135, and $7.35. Zeb Bell.
All right, thank you, Merv. I appreciate that. He can do that chant. I love it. Hey, good morning, everybody. Zeb at the Ranch and ready to go on a Thursday. I want to say up front, we had a very, very nice day yesterday. We went over and visited some friends, and that's John and Melody Bond. They have been so supportive of our program and our lunch bunches and everything, and we just want to say thank you. Had a wonderful time yesterday. Thank you for your great hospitality. And also want to mention to you, and we're going to have more on this next week on Monday, that the Idaho Rodeo Hall of Fame put together and managed and just absolutely doing a fantastic job, Sharmi and Lonnie Lavelle of Gooding. And it's going to be the next induction ceremony, of course, during the Gooding County Fair and Rodeo. We're going to be telling you a lot more about that and also give you all the inductees, some really, really good folks going into the Hall of Fame this year. And thanks again to Sharmi and Lonnie Lavelle over in Gooding for all they do, all the time, all the effort, everything for the Idaho Rodeo Hall of Fame. They really have worked hard. Don't forget, too, Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Yep. You know, you just go on in there, they got everything. From your light bulbs all the way to your air filters for your air conditioners. And just name what you need at the heating and electric end of this thing at Ramsey Heating and Electric, and they can help you. They will serve you. They open the doors at 7:30 in the morning till 5 Monday through Friday, and they are located at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. And the number to call, 678-0459, Ramsey Heating and Electric. Right now, also, before we get started this morning, I want to talk to you about what President Obama did and said yesterday that was as low-classed as anything I've ever heard a president say. And we'll get to that in just a moment. Right now, don't forget your friends at Valleywide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Oh, my goodness, like I said earlier, on Thursdays all day long, any size fountain drink, only 50 cents. You get on over there. They've got all your fishing equipment, all your licenses. They've got all your footwear, the boots. They got your work boots. They've got everything. And local people that are serving you at Valleywide Home and Ranch. You be sure and check it out today. Really good folks. 910 South Oneida in Rupert. All right, now it's your turn. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I guess I wasn't surprised that Obama would stoop this low, but I was really shocked that he would bring partisanship into a very serious discussion regarding the Iranian nuclear deal. In case you're unaware of it, he absolutely made one of the lowest class, no-class statements yesterday when he was talking about the Iranian nuclear deal, and he actually compared, and I'm not making this up, I have the official story from about 3 or 4 different sources. He actually compared those of us in the United States and those senators and congressmen that are against this Iranian nuclear deal because it's absolutely a flimsy, worthless piece of paper. He compared us and members of Congress to the Iranian hacks that are saying death to America. He said they're all in the same vein. I sat there and I listened to his quote and I thought, you have got to be kidding me. He said, in fact, it's those hardliners who are most comfortable with the status quo. It's those hardliners chanting death to America who have been most opposed to the deal. They're making common cause with the Republican caucus. Think about those remarks. And think about what you see on TV, with the Iranians and the leadership, if you want to call it that, of those camel jockeys over in Iran, shouting and screaming, death to America, death to Israel. And our president comparing those threats of death to America as to what will happen because of the questioning by Republicans and some Democrats over this very poorly put together, very poorly constructed, absolutely asinine Iranian nuclear deal. That was a low-class thing to do by President Obama. What are your thoughts? There are those that will protect him. There are those that will say, oh, well, those comments were deserved. People should not go and criticize the president or John Kerry on this Iranian deal. What? The Iranian deal was a joke and a sham from the get-go. The Iranian deal has no teeth in it. It's like an old dog trying to chase a parked car with no teeth. It's absolutely worthless. Come on, give me your thoughts. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'd like to really hear what you have to say about what I think. I don't think you would have ever, I know you would have never, heard any remarks such as that from President Bush 1 or 2. I don't even think you would have heard a remark like that from President Bill Clinton. But there again, we're talking about a president that came into office in 2008 that was barely dry behind the ears, had very little knowledge as to what's going on, if any, from the state of Illinois as a senator, and look what we've got stuck with. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. I know you don't want to hear my opinion, but I'm going to say this.
No, wait, whoa, Helen, wait a minute. Why would you say that I don't want to hear your opinion? Your opinion to me is very valuable. It scares me to death sometimes.
Your next stand-up.
All right, go ahead and tell me what your thoughts are.
What else do you expect from a Muslim? He's done nothing but tear our country down since he got in there.
And you know, there's many that have said that. There are many commentators and pundits that came out from yesterday afternoon till last night, and then into this morning, Helen, that have absolutely said that. Not in as blunt terminology as that, but they have said that his hate affair with the United States, and not at all giving the United States credit for anything that they've done in the world and in history, there's a lot that have insinuated the same thing you said very bluntly. But I don't like the man. I never have liked the man. I don't respect the man. I don't respect the fact that he is not treating America as number one. He's putting us down, always making mistakes, always had a negative connotation in the history books. I don't like Barack Obama.
We got a letter from Crapo that said that they have not got enough information and there's enough stuff to get him out of office. And I thought, buddy, wake up.
Well, it's going to take more than just one Idaho senator. It's going to take a whole passel of people to get together and pick up their brooms and their pitchforks and say, man, you're out of here. This man still has over 500 days left in office. This man still has the power and potentiality to absolutely destroy the fabric of America, our Constitution, and our morality. I am very afraid of Barack Obama. I'm very afraid of the people that control him and supply the money, i.e. George Soros and others. Helen, you have a right to feel the way you do. So do I. Everybody should be concerned.
Well, really and truly, if I was back there and I was a senator, I wouldn't just raise my hand and say yes or no. I think I would be pounding on each other's shoulders and say, wake up.
And that's how you are at lunch bunch sometimes. God bless you. Have a good day.
Control yourself.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
I love that lady. Now, she's right. I have no respect for this man. Don't you dare call me and say, well, you have to respect the office of the presidency. Wait a minute. The man that is elected as president must show that he respects we the people. It's a two-way street. I haven't seen that respect from this office. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. You've heard this saying many times, a barking dog seldom bites. And that's all this man that is our president is just a barking dog. That's all he is.
Well, he's a little bit more than a barking dog because his policies, his pen, and his phone, Keith, I beg to differ with you, they can bite. They can bite us and hurt us severely. His so-called climate change ideas on energy are going to really devastate America if they are implemented. And the if our Congress and senators have any backbone at all and tell Obama no. And I'm afraid they won't.
I'm exactly with you there. But I think the reason why the Iranians are putting this off is because they have someone else on their side. And his name is Barack Obama.
There seems to be a grouping of people that they are hoping and counting on, and it's not just naming Obama. I think that Putin and Russia and many others fall into that category. We are being sold down the river. Some Democrat called me the other day. Again, nameless people, and they chewed me out and they said, oh, he's the greatest president we've ever had. Oh, he's created more peace in the world. Oh, he's done this. And there is not one positive thing. And I know I'm being prejudiced against him because I can't stand the man, but I can't think of one good thing that he has done for our economy, for our welfare and security, or that he has done for instilling a family fabric in the United States of America for fathers to act like like fathers and kids to be brought up in a household where they respect people. I don't see one single thing that this man has done that's been for the good of America.
You know, the only thing that is keeping Iran from striking Israel is the fact that if they can get America under control, then they will go ahead and destroy Israel, and the march is on.
Let me tell you something, and don't listen to the news on this, the general media, Keith. Use your own common sense. If Iran has had nuclear processing availability and the knowledge over all these years leading up to now, don't you think for 1 minute that the capability of destruction and mass chaos isn't available to them right this moment? This 10 years, this inspection, this 24 days we're going to come and make sure you're not doing anything naughty, that is all a bunch of fluff.
Yeah, there is another saying, says, leave a sleeping dog lie. And that's exactly what Israel is, because I'll tell you what, this is one tough bunch. I can remember back in 67 war, it only took them 6 days to clean up the country.
Yeah, but you got to keep in mind where they are logistically and geographically, how big they are, and the surrounding territory, and they have a major problem. They are not liked over there in that area. They have very few friends, and for us, the United States, and especially this administration, to basically turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to them, I just really am concerned about Israel. I really am.
I am too, because they're one man on one island, and it's just a terrible thing.
I agree, Keith. I got to run
on Trump.
I gotta talk about that in a little bit, but I got to get a commercial in here. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, bye.
Don't forget Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley, the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch. Oh, we are planning on our next lunch bunch in 2 weeks on the 20th. Write that down, on the 20th at 11:30 at Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley. I really, really do thank Thomas and Terry, the whole crew. Thomas has been just so much of a great host, and the food is absolutely fantastic. Wow, I used that word the other day. It's a wow menu. Everything, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oh, and by the way, they've got another new location at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. We also want to say thank you for all the gift certificates and everything, Walmart, Smith's Food King, Hanson Mortuary. The next Zeb's Lunch Bunch on the 20th at Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley. Really, really nice people. Don't forget, every Tuesday, Dr. History at 10:06, brought to you by Minnecasia Sales, 1321 East Main Street in Burley, with old Zach and the rest of the crew. Went by there yesterday. There's a lot of cars out there. People know Minnecasia Sales has the best of lumber and windows, with the Western windows, everything, and the Tartar Farm and Ranch gates and panels at Minnecasia Sales. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I don't know if you caught this story at 8 o'clock on the news or not, but I heard about it at 4:15 this morning. This is an oops. No, it's a double oops. Did you hear what happened down in the Phoenix area? Yep, true story. The bounty hunters were looking for a bad guy, and they were given an address as to where this fugitive that was wanted was hiding out. So the bounty hunters went all around the house, and then upon cue, they kicked in the door. Therein lies the problem. Yeah, I know you're ahead of me. It was the wrong house, and actually, when they were looking for the fugitive, they became eyeball to eyeball with the chief of police. So the oops and double oops came in, and now the bounty hunters are in what you might say, you're in a heap of trouble, boy. And evidently the address would have been flip-flopped with the numbers. Instead of like a 231, it ended up 213 or whatever the case. And they had the wrong address. Bad day for the bounty hunters. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to thank many of the sponsors that are helping promote the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo, August 17th through the 22nd. And, of course, Magic Valley Irrigation Supply, 44 East, 500 South of Burley. Oh, thanking all the farmers and ranchers for all the great job they do in providing the food we eat. And Magic Valley Irrigation Supply offering service and repair and irrigation systems since 1978. Also, AMI, 1719 Overland and Burley. These are really good, folks, and all you have to do is look for the big 28-foot wrench over the door. I love going by and look at that wrench, and they say go nuts over their bolts. That's right, they've got it all for you, and they say come on, everybody, and participate in the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo from AMI. Last but not least, Burley Glass, 1029 Overland and Burley. My goodness, Gentle Ben and the crew are there to serve you, and it's going to get cold outside before too long, so you better be ready and have your garage doors and your openers and everything else ready to go. Burley Glass. Good old boy, Gentle Ben, 678-1459. We also want to say tomorrow morning I'm going to take a little tour back over to the Rupert area. And my day off, and we're going to be visiting with the lovely Doctor of Audiology, Christine Pickup, at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room, and the number to call for you to get a hearing screening. Now listen to me, please. 312-0957, 312-0957. The protection of your hearing is absolutely, that's very important. And I guarantee you that hearing health has a direct effect on your overall health. Hearing loss can occur for a number of reasons, and if you're noticing some hearing loss, there are things you can do. So please call her today at 312-0957. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, Christine Pickup, Doctor of Audiology. Really nice lady. All right, your calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to reiterate again what we talked about Monday on the program and then again last week on numerous times. There are new threats. Now, this is something that each and every one of you in the audience should be cognizant of. And each and every one of you should look at your own home situation, your situation at work, and your situation wherever you are with your family or your being in any environment to danger. You should be alerted to danger and look for things that are out of whack or out of normal. The reason I'm bringing all this up is because I had a call this morning from a very dear friend back in Washington, D.C., at one of the think tanks, and with the new threats that are coming in from Al-Qaeda. And I don't mean to minimize Al-Qaeda, and I certainly don't mean to amplify ISIS or Al-Qaeda, either one of them, but the fact is, it seems like they're almost in competition with each other. It seems like ISIS has had all the press and coverage, and Al-Qaeda is very jealous. Well, they've issued a brand new threat, and it's very serious to you and I, and we've talked about this many, many, many times in the past. They are urging many more lone wolf attacks on us. Now, people with the Department of Homeland Security and others are issuing a be very aware warning. If you're going to a baseball game, be very, very aware. If you're going to a concert, be very, very aware. If you're going to, I don't care what it is, some kind of a gathering, whatever, be very aware. Be aware of what's happening with your surroundings. Be vigilant, be careful, be prepared. And I'm going to say this, and I know I'll probably take some heat over this, and so be it. Be armed. A lot of people don't like that. Be armed. I myself personally and my lovely bride, we are, let's just say, all of the above. Being prepared, we're being vigilant, we're being careful, and yes, we will make sure that we have devices that can be used to protect us. This world is really messed up. And with these new threats, we must be more vigilant no matter what or where we are. Good morning, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. Now it's out that if you have anything referring to military on your automobile, you're subject to get your car damaged. And there are people going around harassing the military families. These are Muslim guys.
Yeah.
We're under attack here in this country, and a lot of people still aren't aware of that. They're looking more forward to football season than the danger around.
There you go. There you go. We are kind of burying our heads in the sand, if you will, and turning a blind eye and a deaf ear to what's really going on. I agree with you. I have said for months on this program, and I can go back through my book, I can go back through the tapes, and we can replay them. I said, for heaven's sakes, we've got to be more cognizant. We have to be more prepared. We have to be aware of what's going on. The bad guys are coming in here. They're not creeping in here. They're blatantly coming in here. They're setting up their terror camps. They're setting up their surroundings to where they can practice evil against us, and we must be more prepared.
Well, anybody talks to me about gun control, they're going to get a good chewing out.
Tony, you would be one of the last people that I would ever want to discuss gun control with.
Well, I've had one gun confiscated when I lived in New York, and I never got over it, and I probably never will.
Let me ask you something. You are a senior citizen, and I respect you and Mary so much. You're dear friends. But as you look back in history, over all the years that you've been on God's great earth, is this the most scary time for the United States that you recall, or were there times that you feared more for your safety and our country's safety?
Well, when I grew up, the people's attitude was altogether different. Anybody wanted to attack the United States or the neighborhoods, and everybody else would be up and raw. Now, people don't care.
Yeah.
More interested in TV or going down to the beach, getting bombed out on booze and drugs, and, you know, this is the difference.
I agree. It's almost like it can't happen here. I'm immune to it. I'm just going to tune it out. I'm not going to let it bother me. It's an attitude that I think has permeated our whole society, and I totally agree with you. Thank you, Tony. God bless you and Mary. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. Nice people right there. Got to pay some bills, and then we'll take some more of your calls. Don't forget Sophie's Chatterbox every Monday on the program at 8:31, and I'm usually pretty close on time. We give you a half dozen cinnamon rolls. Oh, they're delicious at Sophie's Chatterbox, 530 East Street in Rupert. And all you have to do is answer a question. Answer a question, and you'll win the cinnamon rolls from Sophie's Chatterbox in Rupert on Mondays. Also, real quick, I want to remind you about our friends at Berry Equipment and Rental. They have all the equipment to get the job done that you need to do. That's it, plain and simple. Call them up, tell them what you're going to be doing. They say, okay, we got this piece of equipment right here, whether it's a Bobcat, whether it's a Coyote tractor, whether it's a big Doosan loader. They've got all the equipment for you. That's right, for sale and or lease at Berry Equipment and Rental, Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, South Lincoln in Jerome, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. The best of people, the best of equipment, the best for you. Berry Equipment and Rental. You get a hold of them today. I would like your calls on that. I'm very concerned. I am very, very concerned as to what's happening in this country, and there is nothing being said from the White House. Tell me, please, if I'm wrong. I try to keep up on all the different video clips, sound bites, and everything, but where is the White House? Where is Obama? Where is this administration in coming out in front of the public and saying, okay, now look, we are aware of increased threats of violence and terror in this United States, and we're on top of it. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We urge you to do this. Where is kind of a soothing of the fears from our president, Barack Hussein Obama? If anybody has heard any remarks like that, please call me and tell me I'm wrong. The danger is out there. And as we reported on Monday on the program, now very close to us in Colorado and Wyoming, military families are being approached by Middle Eastern men in a very threatening way, and they're talking about their family's involvement in the military. It's very disconcerting, and it could happen anywhere. Hill Air Force Base down in Ogden, or Mountain Home just up the road. It could happen anywhere, in any community. What is being done for our protection? What is done for our Homeland Security from the Department of Homeland Security? What is being said or acknowledged by the President of the United States? Nothing. Nothing. So I will reiterate what I have said on this program many times. You and I must be prepared. We have to be vigilant. And quite frankly, be prepared. And underline that word. You know what I mean. Calls are welcome. Come on, give me a jingle. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Big debate tonight. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Don't forget Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Yep, and I'm going to give you the number right now quick. I want you to write it down, 678-1191. Repeat it again, 678-1191. You call them, make an appointment, and they can help you. Nick Greenwell, physical therapist, and all the physical therapists. They know sports medicine, all the exercises, hydrotherapy, pool. They've got it all. They've got it all and can help you get back to being you. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 678-1191. Good morning, caller. Thank you for your call.
Yeah, Zeb, I just wanted to say a little support there for Tony. I think he phrased a lot of this very well. We do have a big problem with people believing there's a real danger here, and even when they agree, they seem to be kind of lackadaisical about reacting.
Do you believe there's a danger threat right now? Let me ask you this. Do you believe that right now, you and those around you are in more danger than perhaps ever before in the United States? Do you believe that?
Yes, very much.
And you're not naive enough to think that just because we live in small town, small area America, in a rural area, that it can't happen here.
Oh, yeah, just take a look at the news in Colorado and Wyoming there with the little threats that were given. They're all over.
And do you think I'm wrong in saying that we need to be vigilant, careful, prepared, and possibly even armed?
One of the main reasons I listen to your program, Zeb, is to be keeping up with that and reminding myself to keep in that stead, because you are absolutely correct. We face a threat here that we just can't even describe.
And I want to also ask you, I know you're very knowledgeable and intelligent. Have you heard anything from the Oval Office regarding these increased threats? The FBI is scared to death what's going to happen.
Yeah, I cannot believe we've had the administration we've had. It just letting people in the door left and right that will kill us.
Thank you so much for your call. God's blessings to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. Why can't we have a referendum or something to vote against whether we want to keep this president?
Well, first of all, you've got to have charges that can be formalized. You've got to show and prove all the different things that need to be done for a recall on this man and a repudiation of him being the president. It's a long, lengthy process. And as you've seen in the past with what happened with Bill Clinton on the impeachment over the Monica Lewinsky and other lies and innuendos, it is a process that takes a long time. I agree with you. I think this man has been and will go down in the history books as the worst president ever in the history of the United States. I think he's a turncoat. I think he's absolutely a traitor to what the American value system is. But I think that for the next 500 plus days, it's up to you, me, and everybody else to be vigilant, be prepared, and be careful, because I've got a feeling that the Oval Office isn't really looking out for you and me.
You know, it just seems like we should be able to give at least a no confidence vote on the people.
I gave him that the first time I heard he was running.
What's that again?
I said I gave him a no confidence vote the first day I ever heard he was running for election.
Well, I did too. But I mean, if they just run a referendum across the United States that says we have no confidence in our president anymore, would it change anything?
Well, let me ask you this real fast, Keith, and I want other people to call in on this too. Are you more concerned for your wife and your family's safety today than you were a month ago, a year ago, or whatever? Are you more cognizant of, hey, this could happen anywhere and what's being done to protect us? Are you worried about it?
Yes, I'm more fearful today than I was yesterday.
There you go. And yet there are those in this audience, the liberals, the Democrats, that are sitting there sneering and mocking and having all kinds of tee-hee titters right now against me on this program. I am very concerned. I'm very worried. I'm very concerned what the College of Southern Idaho is doing with a blind eye and a deaf ear. And they've turned from being a college of education to being a refugee center. I'm very concerned as to what's going on. Everybody should be.
You know, and there's one thing I can say, that all of these colleges, including Southern Idaho, are run by the government. They can say what they want, but they got to do everything the government tells them to.
Well, right now,
there's a couple of colleges that don't adhere to this, and they get along fine.
I am very concerned when you have threats being blatantly issued to the American public from the bad guys. And the FBI has stated they can't keep up with all the threats and the different caseloads because they are outmanned. What does that tell you, Keith? What does that tell you?
I just don't know what to think. And you know, if someone like yourself, and I know you can't do it, but if there was someone like that had a voice, they could bring all our people together, but it just can't be done. These people stay up late at night trying to figure out ways to oppress us.
Isn't it a terrible state of the world today that people, human beings, plot behind closed doors, plot to kill, maim, bomb, and destroy as their only real occupation in life? Isn't that a sad state of affairs as to what the human race has come to, that we have vermin that call themselves human beings that do nothing but plan evil and killing people? Isn't that, it's just totally a shame.
Well, the thing that really scares me is there can come a knock on the door, or they can bust your door down or whatever, you know, and they can come in and take everything they want out of your house, and you say, I'm going to call the police, and they'll say, that's already been taken over by us.
Yeah.
And
Keith,
what do you do beyond that point?
I know, and like I said, I'm going to be very vigilant, careful, prepared, and provide the devices that are necessary to make sure that we're protected. Good morning, and thanks, Keith.
I live in New York or New Jersey or any place like that where there is an awful lot of these loons, I would call them, that still love the president.
I agree, Keith. I got to run and deal with weather forecast. I'm running late. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Weather forecast this hour, and we'll take some more calls. Mad River Laser. These folks are good for the promotion of your business, or if you want your name on something or your logo on something. They do the best job. They are so innovative, so artistic, and boy, they just know their business. And Mad River Laser is located at 502 East Street in Rupert, and they've got the sweatshirts, all kinds of sweatshirts that they can put your name and logo on. They got the hoodies. They've got everything. Don't forget that they've got the best of Carhartt, Bernie, Nike, Gildan, Hanes, all of that at Mad River Laser on the square in Rupert. And right now, here is the weather.
Here's your weather forecast for Zeb at the ranch as he gets ready to take off for the week. Looks like sunny skies for today. Highs are going to be in the mid-80s, lows in the mid-50s. Slightly breezy winds out of the west, right around 11 miles an hour. Now, don't be surprised if we do have some afternoon rain showers and thunderstorms, which is very, very common for this time of year. Expected low near 55 for tonight. For tomorrow, going to be cloudy. Still a slight chance of rain showers and thunderstorms in the forecast with a high of 80. And then it looks like mid-70s with the rain showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for Saturday. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you very much, Gina. Appreciate it. Brought to you this hour by Mad River Laser, 502 East Street in Rupert. Nicole and her staff, excellent people. You really enjoy them. Calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, I'm a member of the NRA, and I'm proud of it. I make no bones about it. I will support them, and I will be a member. And when I read, listen, and study some of the absolute garbage that is coming out of the mouths of people like former mayor of New York, Michael Bloomberg, and his absolute attempt to weaken and basically cripple our knees as far as protecting ourselves, Bloomberg will donate and has donated millions and is continuing to donate millions of dollars to literally take away our guns, take away our protection, and damn us and condemn us because we are gun owners. He's one of many. He is one of many. And he wants to change the complete complexion of America to the point where you and I that live in a rural society are basically defenseless, with nothing more than a telephone number for the local police that might take 45 minutes to an hour to get there, and they certainly can't be all things to all people at all times. These are the kinds of very dangerous people that have money and influence that are trying to absolutely destroy America. And a person like Bloomberg is one of the best friends that terror groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS could ever have. Disarm America. Open the doors and say, come on in. We need to fight this. I don't care if you like guns. I don't care if you hate guns. I don't care if you want to talk about preparing or being prepared, being vigilant or not. If it's something that scares you and you can't stand the pressure, then you're depending on somebody else to take care of you, and those days are over. You need to be cognizant as to how, why, and when you can support yourself and your family with your own protection. Police officers today are absolutely deluged with a call here, a call there, here, run there, can't get there in time, here, somebody else tried to take this call. They can't do it. And the bad guys know that. And the bad guys need a very rude awakening as to Mr. Smith and Mr. Wesson are on the property and they didn't know it. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Oh, and by the way, for those that are not sure of what I'm saying, yes, I am advocating home protection, property protection. Yes, I am advocating you know how to use a firearm and never give it up. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with the best tire value promise in the industry. Peace of mind tire protection and lifetime tire and mileage care. They've got many of their top tires on sale right now, like the Open Country HT for the light trucks, all-season tires, superior handling. This is a dandy. And don't forget the best in brake service. Professionally trained technicians and premium quality parts. These people really know brakes. Stand by, caller. I'll be right there. And don't forget, too, the best in shocks and struts and front-end alignments, batteries, but always the best in service. They really care. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, John on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, Zeb.
Yes, sir.
You know, a lot of people seem to forget that there's a reason that right to bear arms was put in our Constitution, and it wasn't put in there so we can go shoot trap. It was put in there that we have the right to bear arms for enemies, foreign and domestic, and that's our calling as Americans, to stand up and defend our United States with the right to bear arms when it's called for.
There is no question the way you phrase that is absolutely the correct way to phrase it, but I'll go a step further and say I urge everyone, and I mean this, I urge everyone to be very cognizant and learn about different firearms, learn about a firearm that you're comfortable with, learn about home protection, learn about what you need to know, get your concealed weapons permit, go to an instructor and really learn about guns and the proper use, because now more than ever, I think it's mandatory that we learn how to protect ourselves.
Yeah, and the concealed weapons course has a lot of great information, a lot of great stuff, but what a lot of people need to realize, too, that is not a big known fact is Idaho, the great state that we live in, is an open carry state. As long as you're legal and you're not a felon to possess a firearm, you can walk around with your sidearm right on your hip.
That's right. That's right.
Allows that.
That's exactly right. And those that don't understand the law or appreciate the law, those are the people that need to be informed. But I will stand behind what I said this morning. With every single thing that's going on and all these threats internally, right here on our soil, you would be a fool not to adhere to the fact that we need to learn how to protect ourselves.
Absolutely. I'll stand right there with you.
I appreciate your call, sir. God bless. Have a good day. Thank you. Thank you. I just can't understand why people are offended by some of those things that we mentioned here in the last half hour. Oh, they are like a shrinking violet. Well, you can't do that. Why? We don't want that. We're against guns and everything. Well, why should you put the responsibility of taking care of yourself, protecting yourself, your wife, your kids, etc., onto somebody else's shoulders? Think about it. The danger zone has been increased. It's not just over there. It's here. Now. And I honestly, very seriously urge you to be more prepared and more vigilant. We're going to take a break and be back in 6. Zeb at the Ranch, don't go away. Thursday morning, Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell. Good morning to you, and thanks to our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and of course some of our great advertisers involving Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, along with Valleywide Home and Ranch. They've got everything. Maybe you got to the fair and said, oops, forgot the brushes, forgot all the other stuff. Hey, it's right there. Valleywide Home and Ranch. Everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch. 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Oh, my goodness. Oh, and by the way, Ted's Diesel Electric is moving to 635 21st Street in Hayburn. Yep, right on Alfresco Road, owned by Doug Martin. I'm telling you, old Doug can rebuild starters, alternators, generators, and he sells new, too. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. Ted's Diesel Electric moving to 635 21st Street in Hayburn. We got a lot of things cooking here this morning, and in just a very few moments, we're going to have the Chamber of Commerce report with Kay Cameron. Stand by for that. First and foremost, I want to remind you about some friends. Friends that really care about you. Friends that care about the Magic Valley. And that's Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert, with Joel Heward, his family, and his staff, always treating and upholding the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. When there's the passing of a loved one, as I've said many, many times, your whole world is thrown into upheaval and you don't know what to do. You don't know what needs to be done. They can help at Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Call them, please, 436-5636. That number again, 436-5636. 5636. Oh, and don't forget, too, our dear friends Cheney Flooring and Home Design. I really am blessed to have them on the program, and they are our major weather sponsor right away when we start the program at 8:06 in the morning. Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. And coming up next week, they're going to have that great big community garage sale on the 8th. Wait a minute, on the 8th, let's see, that's this Saturday. What am I saying next week? It's this Saturday from 8 to 2. Don't miss it, right there at Cheney Flooring and Home Design. And they're located at 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door, 678-6945. Okay, let's go to the phone lines right now. And I believe we have the lovely Kay Cameron with the Chamber of Commerce. Good morning.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you?
I am peachy.
Good. Can you hear me okay?
It's a little bit distorted, but not too bad. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I've got a guest here with me this morning. Today we had our monthly board meeting, and I've got one of my board members here, Shelley Telleria. She is a realtor in our community, and I thought it would be really interesting to have her join us to just kind of talk about some of the trends that are happening here in the Mini-Cassia area with our housing market.
Well, good morning, and how are you?
I'm well, Zeb. How are you?
If I was any better, the wrong fat man be wearing my clothes. Well, what is happening in the real estate market? What is happening in the housing market? What is going on, pluses or minuses, as far as your business is concerned?
Well, Zeb, I got really curious yesterday because all these houses keep coming up on the market and they're gone just as quick as they come up. And so I looked, and for last month in the Mini-Cassia area, we sold about 27 residential listings. And of those 27 residential listings, 18 of them were sold in the matter of under 80 days.
Oh, my.
Which is quite unusual for our area. As you well know, it's been up to 6 months or longer for a long time. That trend, I looked back a couple months further ahead than that, and that trend had been growing for about 3 months. So it'll be interesting to see what August will bring us.
Well, yeah, but wait a minute. Let's back up just a little bit. All trends have to be turned on by something, and that something is generating more people's interest in moving here to this area. What is it?
New business. My gosh, I can't believe. Being on the Chamber of Commerce has opened my eyes to all of the new business coming into the area. It's just amazing. And people are buying houses. They're buying up in houses. They're moving from those 3-bedroom, 1-bath houses into 4-bedroom, 2-bath with a family room and a double-car garage, and they are wanting more out of life.
I think a question that has to be asked at this point is, boy, I'm happy to hear that. I'm excited and everything, but are we the only area, or is this indicative of what's going on in other parts of the Intermountain West?
I can't speak to that. Maybe you would know more than that because you're in Twin now. So I don't know. I just know what's going on in the Mini-Cassia area. Maybe Kay knows more.
Well, I know all across our region and all of the Magic Valley, we're seeing a large influx of new growth and new business. In fact, they had a big announcement in Twin of a bunch of new businesses coming to Twin. And I think all across our region we're seeing a big influx. We've just got a lot of opportunities and a lot of growth, and so I would suspect that other communities in the Magic Valley are experiencing the same things that we are.
You know, I can tell you this. 2 weeks ago, I was inducted into a Hall of Fame in Utah. And during the induction ceremonies, I was talking to some people that were business leaders in that area around Salt Lake, Provo, all through that area. And they said, hey, your area is an untapped resource, and it's going to grow in the future more so than ever before. So evidently people from outside of this area are looking to the Magic Valley.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we need more. You know, as unemployment rates are at an all-time low, around 3.4%, we need more people in this area to start filling up those jobs of the new business coming in.
What do you look for the crystal ball of real estate in the future? I mean, here we are, 2015. We're going into next year, an election year. And how much do you think that will play on people buying homes and the housing market in general?
I can only see an increase. We don't have enough homes in the Mini-Cassia area for all the people coming in. Rentals are at a high right now. If you have a rental property and it's not rented, my question would be why?
Absolutely. Well, you've got your finger on the pulse of real estate every day, so it sounds to me like, without even seeing your face this morning, it's got a great big smile on it.
It always has a smile on it. We sure appreciate her service to the chamber and to this community. She's involved in a lot of things, and we enjoy her smile often.
Now, how do you go about reporting to the general public or reporting to other areas or letting the public know in other areas just how positive things are here? How do you go about doing that?
I use Facebook, Zeb, a lot.
Okay. And what about the chamber? Kay, do you do the same thing as far as social media is concerned to let people know?
As you know, we've got our fingers into social media, and we try to share the news that way. I have the opportunity to participate in a lot of different meetings and different groups of people, and so I try to share that information anytime I get the opportunity as well. So we're always trying to tell the story and share that information and get it out there.
Do you find...
It's surprising to me the people who don't believe me. They're like, well, what new businesses are in town? And you start to list all the new businesses, not only in Rupert, but in Heyburn and Burley, and they're like, well, wow, yeah, I guess I knew that, but I really didn't think about it.
You know, what you said is absolutely true. Yesterday I had to go visit some friends over on the north side of Rupert. On the way back, I just took a kind of a leisurely drive and just looked around, and my goodness, right there going into Burley from the east end, I thought, holy buckets, I've got to get out more.
Yeah, there's a lot of new growth and new business, and it's an exciting time right now.
Well, to sum it up, both of you ladies, you're optimistic about the future, and things look bright, don't they?
Absolutely.
For sure. They really look good.
And, of course, anybody that wants to obtain information as to what's going on in the area, different events, or get in contact with either one of these ladies, all they have to do is just contact the Chamber of Commerce. Kay, why don't you give us a rundown on the 97 ways that they have to call you?
Okay, come by and see us. We're located at 1177 7th Street on the beautiful Snake River. Give us a call at 208-679-4793. Find us online at minicashiachamber.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and connect on LinkedIn.
One final question. Did anybody bring the bear claws to the meeting this morning? If so, wrap one up and send it to me.
Okay, we'll do that.
All right. God bless you. Chamber of Commerce report, Kay Cameron, this morning. We do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Well, we're running a little bit late here. We got to gather things up. Jerome County Fair and Rodeo. My goodness, what's on the menu for today over there? Well, at 8:30 this morning, they started with the swine show. At noon, they're going to have all the commercial and food booths open. That's very important. At 2 o'clock this afternoon, they're going to have the 4-H and FFA Pygmy Goat Show, and then, of course, tonight, the PRCA Rodeo, the last night of the rodeo. It's tough enough to wear pink night tonight. Tomorrow on Friday, the pig wrestling at 7 o'clock, along with the tug of war, and then on Saturday night, the big monster trucks are going to be in the arena. All of this and much, much more at your 2015 Jerome County Fair and Rodeo. Don't you miss it. Lots of fun over there in Jerome. I want to take a quick minute, and again, I want to reiterate that I was very honored a couple of years ago to be inducted into the Idaho Rodeo Hall of Fame, and Sharmy and Lonnie Lavelle over at Gooding, they have done such a wonderful job of getting that Hall of Fame really, really amplified and growing in popularity. And during the Gooding County Fair and Rodeo this year, of course, the induction ceremonies of more great rodeo personnel from around the state of Idaho, and that's going to be at the Gooding County Fair for this year. And next Monday, we're going to have Sharmy on our program, and we're going to be talking about, of course, the induction ceremonies and the inductees at the Idaho Rodeo Hall of Fame for 2015. The Cassia County Fair says, come on to the fair, August 17th through the 22nd. And, of course, there's a lot of businesses that would welcome you to come to the fair, including K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 West of Burley. They've got everything. I mean, Holy Buckets, lawn and garden equipment, forklifts, concrete tools. They've got it all at K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 West of Burley, number 678-3101. And Rain for Rent. Hello, folks at Rain for Rent, 134 South, 600 West in Paul. And the number to call, Rain for Rent, remember this now, write it down, 438-5065. And they've got and are the leading provider of all liquid handling solutions, from pumps to tanks, filtration devices for pipes and hoses. They've got it all. You get a hold of them today, Rain for Rent in Paul. And last but not least, Pickett Equipment Company. Hello, Steve Pickett. I have known the Pickett family. I have worked with the Pickett family many, many times, and their equipment second to none. They know the bean industry, and they are the best at all the inventions and the production of the best in bean equipment. You better believe it. Pickett Equipment Company, 678-0855, 976 East Main in Burley. And they all tell you to be sure and go to the Cassia County Fair. My goodness, we got a lot of events to talk about here this morning. Let's see, what else did I not give you? Tonight, the big GOP debate. Now, it starts at our time, 7 o'clock. Prior to that, 2 hours earlier at our time, 5 p.m., will be, Carly Fiorina said it best, the happy hour debate. With the 7 candidates that couldn't get enough popular poll numbers to get into the top 10, of which she is one, unfortunately. I'd really like to see her gain popularity. But tonight it is kind of a Trump against the world. I cannot believe, and I said this Monday on the program, I cannot believe these candidates, it's a us against Trump, and that to me is the wrong attitude. They've got to get up on that podium and they got to sell themselves. They can't get up there and attack Trump and then let him have a 30-second rebuttal to them. He will nail them to the cross. And why can't they get up there and just sell themselves, their policies, their thoughts on how they could possibly make America better? I think they're using the wrong approach, and I'm going to blame all 9 that are standing up there with Trump. I think it's Trump against the world, and these guys are absolutely falling into a pit of snakes, thinking that they have to attack him to be successful. Your thoughts. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Let me also say this, that I urge you to stop over to Let's Ride. We're going to be talking to Nick or Randy coming up next hour about all the different things they've got over at Let's Ride for fun, because that is where the fun is sold. Doggone throat, excuse me. They're located at 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and Hayburn, and they've got all the ATVs. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't have bought some ATVs. Seriously, I mean, they absolutely said, Zeb, you and your wife, you're going to love them. Oh, boy, do we ever. Absolutely a lot of fun. And they got a fantastic accessory department, and they've got a super service department. They know what they're doing. So please, stop over today or give them a call. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24, between Rupert and Hayburn, where the fun is sold. Really good, folks. Oh, my goodness sakes, we got a lot of things coming up here. Rita Ramsey will be on our program. Don't forget, she's at 9:30 this morning. I really enjoy having Rita on. We get some very good political discussions going on at 9:30. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. You better believe it. They've got all your life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, ideas, and solutions. They know. They're very accessible and devoted to serving you, so don't forget Cameron and Siemens, Highway 24 in Rupert. Number to call for a meeting, a conference, 436-4424. My buddy Dave Zanino is going to have a team roping up in Cary, Idaho tonight, and that's going to start at 6:30 with a sign-up and 7 o'clock rope. That's going to be at the Cary Fairgrounds up there in Cary tonight. Don't forget Dave Zanino, a really good old boy, and they're going going to have that team roping tonight, starting at 6:30 with sign up in Cary, rope at 7. I believe my goodness, where'd all these dogs come from anyway? What's going on around here? Holy cow, I got a dachshund over here, and I've got... Somebody put a chain on that Rottweiler, for heaven's sakes. With us right now is Officer Ken Mort with Minidoka Animal Control. Good morning.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you today?
Will you sleep at the switch over there or something? What's the matter with you?
No, it was kind of faint and stuff on my headset, so they had to do some adjustment on it so I could actually hear you.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. It's kind of nice to be heard when you're talking long distance. 35 miles and we can't even communicate. There you go.
Much better.
What is going on with Doggy World?
Well, I don't have anything to feature today because we don't have anything available at the moment.
Oh, my.
I'll have one available come Monday, which is a black lab named Bear. And that's about a year-old, very sweet dog.
A black lab named Bear, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, did you hang that name on that dog?
We did.
Why? Why Bear?
Well, I actually think he looks more like a lab cross. He's got kind of got a little bit longer hair.
Yeah.
On that, but I'd actually watched a video on Facebook the other day that had showed a little bear cub, and it said vicious bear attacks. And this little bear cub and stuff was playing with one of the firefighters that was fighting some fires and stuff and that up. I think it was in Oregon. And this little bear come out there and was just having a ball, just playing with the guy and everything. And that name bear stuck in my head. And when I picked this young guy up, it hit me that naming Bear.
Well, now you don't really know his whole personality or anything just yet, do you?
No, other than he is very friendly. He loves people, loves kids. Matter of fact, he was running at large over in Rupert and was playing with a group of kids when I got the phone call. And they basically asked me, he says, "You're not going to put him down?" I says, "Nope, we don't do that unless they're vicious, ill, or injured." So, because he'll find a good home.
Oh, good. You know, finding good homes is that kind of a limited kind of a access to finding people, or are there many people out there?
You know, we actually had our animal control board meeting last night, and our adoption rate for over the year is only about 12% of the dogs we take in actually get adopted out. The adoption rate isn't real high around the area. I think part of it is due to the small area that we live in. Yeah. And everything. So the adoption rate is down. We have had an increase in our bailout rate, and that people are stepping up and actually taking more responsibility for their dogs and actually bailing them out. And then, we're still sending a lot to rescues. We're sitting at about 80, I want to say it was 86% of the dogs that we take in wind up going to rescues.
Wow. Okay.
But they all wind up going to good, loving homes, and we get reports and stuff and that about how they're doing and things like that. So
I was going to ask you that on a previous program. Once someone adopts a dog, and always they want to put their best foot forward and everything, do you or does someone from your organization do any follow-up to make sure that those people are really doing the right things?
When they go to, and at a lot of the just adoptions out of our facility, we get reports and stuff back from the people because how well they fell in love with the dog, and they're wanting to keep us in the loop of how the dog is doing and everything. I had a gentleman who adopted a dog, and he lives over in Burley, and he adopted a dog named Zeus. And at least once a month, I get picture text from him on that with pictures of Zeus and the family of how they're doing, and just, them good, heartwarming messages and stuff and that, and information and stuff and that on all that stuff.
You said the dog's name was Zeus?
The dog's name was Zeus. He was a pit bull.
My neighbor, honestly, this true story, my neighbor Rocky Matthews has a pig, an 800-pound pig that they call Zeus, and they literally, and I got a picture right behind me, they put a saddle on it, and his daughter rides it.
I can believe it.
Yeah.
I actually got called out a couple years ago for a pig running at large just north of Rupert. They didn't have a sheriff's deputy available to go handle it. And the only thing I carry with me is a slip leash for a dog.
Yeah.
Well, I cornered the pig. I actually put that slip leash on that pig and held that pig until the owners that lived about a mile and a half down the road got down there to get it picked up.
How many, let's say, how bad were your shoes on the bottom from all the rubber being burned off the heels as that pig took off?
Actually, I kind of cheated because when they had trees out there in the front yard, so as soon as I got that slip leash around that pig, because it works a little bit better than a rope, because we tried a rope, but it just get out of the rope.
Yeah.
That slip leash, it clamped right on, and I used one of the trees and stuff, and it's kind of used so that it wasn't dragging me around, and it worked out great.
See, I'm afraid of pigs. I don't like pigs. I had a bad experience with a pig when I was living on the farm back in Wisconsin. And for me to really say that I would want your job to try to put a leash on a pig and sit there and hold it, nope, you're on your own.
It can be trying at times.
Well, now, along with pig wrestling and everything else, what else are you doing over there? How's the new facility coming along? We got about a minute and a half left.
Actually, the kennels are supposed to be ready next week. Last week we were presented with a check from Modern Woodman, and that matching the $2,500 that they were going to match for us on being able to get the kennels. The kennels have been ordered. I mean, like I said, they'll be ready next week, which I'll probably go down the end of next week and get them picked up. Once we get them picked up, and that the following week we're probably going to start doing the installation on them. And once we get them installed, we're planning on getting scheduled a kind of a ribbon cutting ceremony and open house type thing. We're shooting to be in there, Annette, before the end of September.
All right. Well, you've got everything lined out. Ken Mort, Animal Control Officer, the man, and we appreciate him from Minidoka County. You do an excellent job. We wish you well. Have a rest of a great summer. It's not going to be too much longer, and you're going to say goodbye to the kids. They're going to go off to school every day.
That is true. My wife cannot wait.
I appreciate your honesty. All right, Ken, God bless you, man. Where'd all these dogs come from? Take care of yourself. Holy smokes. That dog's running all over the place. My goodness, look out. Animal Control from Minidoka County, Officer Ken Mort. Thank you. With just a moment, stand by. We'll have Rita on the line. Want to remind you, the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo coming up August 17th through the 22nd, and they've got a great amount of fun for you. Rides, animals, cotton candy, all kinds of goodies, rodeos, and concerts. And the concert this year is going to be on August 15th, Saturday, August 15th, Dan and Shay in concert. Get your tickets now. Be sure and call the fair office and get the best doggone seats you can. You better believe it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Call 678-9150 for the concert on Saturday, August 15th for the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. Oh, my goodness. Good morning. Good morning. How is Rita Ramsey? Good to have you on the program.
I'm as good as I could be.
Well, good. I don't even know where to start this morning. I've got a list of probably 9 or 10 different things that I know we won't all get into, but I guess we'll start with the debate. I want to hear if you agree with me or not. Whether you like Donald Trump or you don't like Donald Trump, that is not the issue. The issue where I think, and I said just a few moments ago, and I've said ever since I heard the debate was going to go on, I said the issue that I think that the other candidates, the other 9 of the top 10, they're making a huge mistake. They're making this a Trump against the world when I think they should be standing up and tooting their own horn about what they can do for America instead of going after Trump. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that's probably right. My big issue is first of all, this isn't really a debate. It's everybody's going to have 1 minute to explain
exactly.
what my my feelings about the election are and why I'm running. That's all they're going to get. We're not going to get any answers. We're not going to have one person say, "Well, I like this," and the other person says, "Well, yeah, but this isn't the reason I don't like that." It's not really a debate. All it is a Fox, event. And the other part that really drives me nuts is that you cut half of them out of there. So actually, Fox News is in the driver's seat of saying who's going to be getting the attention, and therefore they're trying to narrow the field by who they think should be in there. And I think that John Kasich did not have the numbers and should not have been in there. I think there were a couple of reasons that they let him in there and said that his numbers were good. And the first one is that the debate's being held in Ohio, and he's the governor there. And the other thing is that he used to work for Fox, so it's kind of like, well, we'll take you over the others that were really close to your numbers. And so it kind of looks to me like they've picked and choose who they want to be in the main one. I'm DVRing both of them because I have a meeting in Twin tonight, so I'll watch them when I get back. But it just really bothers me because instead of letting the process go forward, it's like the media, and now Fox is in charge of that, is going to be the ones who decide who we should get to see or hear, instead of saying, you know what, we want everybody to have a fair and balanced choice. Let's just, maybe they could have one on Tuesday night and one on Thursday night instead of, well, we're just going to have one on Thursday, but the other one's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in the Mountain West, so nobody's going to be watching it, and it's not going to matter.
How dare you think there might be a conspiracy theory there? My goodness, you are really upsetting the apple cart this morning. And I will give you credit, though. I got to say this, that Rem Reeder, a editorialist for the USA Today, kind of in certain ways and certain usages of phrases, agreed with you somewhat on the way the debate's going to be handled tonight. I would submit, however, that when you look at the logistics of getting 17 individuals into the camera eye and trying to allow and allot a fair time, because time is what radio stations and TV stations sell and have as opportunities, that would be absolutely a lineup nightmare of trying to get 17 people on and try to treat them all with a fair and equal opportunity on the air. I personally think the way it was set up with the national polls, I've checked the numbers on various polls from the Quinnipiac poll and everything else, I think the 10 that they're there, with the exception of maybe one or two like John Kasich, like you mentioned, I'd have to go along and say I think they've got the top 10.
Well, actually, I think that, too. My big question is, and I don't know, maybe I'm just, too curious, or I don't know, but I just don't see that Bush has the numbers that they're saying he has.
I agree with you. I agree with you there.
And I just kind of think that somehow there's something convoluted that puts him in there at the top. And it could be that the question that they ask people, well, would you vote for Hillary or would you vote for Bush? And they know they've called a Republican voter.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Oh, well, they go for Bush, so let's give him a point. I just don't see where he's got the numbers or the interest. And I don't know, maybe I'm just cynic, but that's just me.
Let me ask you a question then. And no, you're not just a cynic. You're a lady that knows politics and understands what's going on. And it's good that maybe you and I don't agree on everything all the time, but I would ask you this. What would you do today if you were the campaign manager for, like, Carly Fiorina, or perhaps for Lindsey Graham, or anybody in the lower tier, the 7 that are going to go before the Big Ten, if you will? What would you do to increase their fame, increase their numbers, and increase public awareness? What needs to be done?
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't know if anything else does need to be done because, like I said, for the last 15 years, we've been watching Fox News because they seem pretty fair about who who they cover and what gets covered, so that you see two sides to all of it, and you see a lot that the other people just totally leave out. And it looks to me like, and I've seen Carly on 2 or 3 different programs of Fox, so I do have to give them credit for that. But if I was in charge of her campaign, I would just keep doing what she's doing, and she is going out and she is walking door to door, neighborhood to neighborhood, and knocking on doors, talking to people, and getting her message out. And I don't know if there's really anything else that you can do. I mean, somebody could back her up and give her billions of dollars to spend, but all the people who don't get cable TV, and there's a good bunch of people in the country that aren't seeing any of it.
Now, I will say this, and it's kind of a preview as to what's going on at 10:30 this morning. I think you should be aware, too. I have a lady that works for the Fiorina campaign, and that's Heidi Ganal. She's going to come on my program at 10:30, and we're going to discuss this and see what needs to be done prior to the next series of debates that maybe might catapult Carly Fiorina into more of a popular and understanding mode with the American public. I personally like her. Rita, I like her. I like what she says, and I think she should be a stronger candidate.
Oh, I do too. Actually, you know what? We could have almost any one of those 17 people, even Lindsey Graham, that are up for...
Now be careful.
Running for president. We could have any one of those and have a better president than we have presently.
Yeah, well, there's no question there. And we'll discuss that a little bit about what he said yesterday that put him in a no-class status with me. But first and foremost, what about Donald Trump? Now, they are afraid of him. Don't anybody call me and tell me that the likes of Bush and Walker and Cruz and all these Kasich, they're afraid of Trump. And I'll tell you how this thing's structured tonight, that if they say something personal to him about policies or about the way he is, he will get 30 seconds as a direct rebuttal back to that individual. And I honestly think they fear Donald Trump.
Well, I'm sure that they do. They've taken a lot of arrows from him. This is the way that I think that they should and would be dealing with it, and I think they probably will because it only stands to reason, is that they're going to be asking questions. They're not going to ask Scott Walker what he thinks about the capability of Donald Trump being a president. So Scott Walker, when he gets asked a question, he just needs to answer the question and go from there and leave anybody else's name out of it. Like, I guess they can take their shots and do stuff when they're, in areas where people are asking them questions and what they think of somebody else. But until the field gets narrowed down a little bit, you're just shooting into a pond and you don't really have anything to aim at. And so there's no sense in wasting people's time with any of the banter back and forth of whether Trump should be president or not, or whether he's qualified, or whether he supported too many Democrats in the past, or whatever his history is. That all just needs to be set on the shelf and left alone.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Of the 17 candidates, I mean, we got a football team plus reserves. Who is Rita Ramsey polling for, not only tonight in the debates, but also to go ahead and possibly get the nomination for president on the GOP? And who would you suggest as a running mate that is strong enough and tough enough to take the slings and arrows from the extremely vicious left?
Well, my first choice would be Ted Cruz. And he's proved that he doesn't really care what the press says about him, and he's taken on McConnell and he's taken on others, and he's really made us see how important it is to go by the Constitution. And because he's not afraid of what's going to, come at him, I personally think that he would be one that would be, probably the best, just because he's saying, hey, we can't do this. And his running mate, I would put Alan West in there.
Oh, interesting choice. There you go. There's a name that has kind of been diminished in the last couple of months, but very interesting choice. Now, before I do the weather forecast, I've got to get into this story, and I'm holding the basics of what happened from 3 different news organizations. And knowing you follow this story. Oh, we got a caller. We'll take that first, and then we'll get into the Obama remark. Caller, real fast. Go, please.
Yeah, I can just barely hear you.
Well, go ahead. We can hear you.
I can hear you guys. But anyway, the comment is that it's interesting. I agree. Ted Cruz certainly will be close to the top of the list. But it's interesting that former president candidate Mitt Romney is out using his people in Utah to get rid of Mike Lee, another conservative Tea Party person that's done wonders as far as standing up for our Constitution. And, of course, he's also, Mitt Romney's working against Ted Cruz. And that's because he's a neocon, and they don't believe in the Constitution. So all you people out there that voted for Mitt Romney thinking he was the answer, he's basically a Jeb Bush with a different name in that regard. And I'd like her to comment about that, because it really upsets me that we have people like Romney that can't be content to understand the Constitution. The Constitution is the solution. The other comment I'd like to make is we need to change our congressman. Congress really holds the keys to the purse string, and we know Simpson, all he does is just rubber stamp whatever Boehner does.
All right.
We need to find a candidate that'll take on Simpson and get behind him.
I will have her comment on that right now. Thank you very much, sir. And Rita, respond to that endorsement, if you will.
Well, I totally agree, and as far as the deal goes with Mitt Romney, I think that when the Republican machine said, well, if you get the nomination, you have to be the one who's at the head of fundraising and getting our people elected and everything, and so it's kind of like you have to do what the Republican wants. The Republican National Committee and all of those insiders would love nothing better than to get rid of Ted Cruz, Mike Lee, Rand Paul, and a few others who have stood up with Mike Lee on the Constitution. But we are not going to heal America until we start getting back to the Constitution and get the Republican mainstream back to the original things that they vote on, which is small government and constitutionality and fiscal responsibility. I mean, they were actually had the Tea Party values at one time when they very first got started and got going, and they're no different than the Democrats now.
Let me ask you this real quick. Give me a short answer. I've got the weather forecast. I want to know what you think about this. Mike Simpson has come out in the paper this morning, as a matter of fact, and the headline said, Trump's going to burn out. What do you think about Mike Simpson's statement in regards to a flame out, a burnout, and a destruction of Donald Trump?
Well, I'm still sitting on the fence about Donald Trump, because I just wonder if he is really serious about this. I love that he is bringing a lot of dialogue to this. I actually heard a thing this morning, and it was a Democrat writing it, and his take on it is that Trump is pretty thick with the Clintons, and he's just in there as the intermediary, and he could break off and do a third party so that Hillary will get the vote. And that was a Democrat writing it. So there's a lot of theories going on out there. I don't know. All
right. Well, right now I've got to jump in here, and we'll have more with Rita in just a moment. But I've got to get the weather forecast in, sponsored by Duck Uglies, 163 West Highway 30 in Burley. Have you been there? You'd better go. It's fantastic dining, delicious meals, and entertainment. Oh, my goodness, it's a fun place. Friday night special, ribeye steak with shrimp, baked potato, Texas toast. Saturday night, they got the delicious mouth-watering ribs. Absolutely a great place to eat. Duck Uglies, 163 West Highway 30 in Burley. And now, here's the weather.
Here's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch as he gets ready to take off for the week. Looks like sunny skies for today. Highs are going to be in the mid-80s, lows in the mid-50s. Slightly breezy winds out of the west, right around 11 miles an hour. Now, don't be surprised if we do have some afternoon rain showers and thunderstorms, which is very, very common for this time of the year. Expected low near 55 for tonight. For tomorrow, going to be cloudy. Still a slight chance of rain showers and thunderstorms in the forecast with a high of 80. And then it looks like mid-70s with the rain showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for Saturday. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
All right, Gina, thank you very much. Brought to you by Duck Uglies. Going to get in there this weekend and see the whole crew. 163 West Highway 30 in Burley. Rita, I want to really be serious right now and ask you about a statement that was made by the President of the United States that I thought was extremely low class or no class and inflammatory. And it was in regards to comparing basically conservatives like you and me and the GOP party to Iranian flamethrowers that are yelling death to America and lumping them together as because we're questioning the value of the Iranian nuclear deal. What did you think about that low-class statement that he made yesterday?
Well, it definitely wasn't presidential, and the other thing about it is that when you get the president starting to move away from the questions that are asked him and start blaming somebody else. It's just called the spin. And he's giving the spin, and he's trying to deflect the conversation to go another way instead of taking responsibility like a real man would do, or a real leader. And it's disgusting, but every time he's asked something, that's what he does. He goes, another direction and starts doing it. He could lecture down in South Africa, and he actually lectured people about apparently the South Africans in some of their religious ceremonies. They take babies' body parts and use them as part of their religious rituals, and he gave them a scathing thing. You shouldn't do it. You need to change that. You've got to respect life and everything. And then look what's going on here with Planned Parenthood. And this was just last week when he was in South Africa.
Yeah, I know. The man still has over 500 days left in office, and I am afraid. I'll tell you this, I am very afraid that this man, with all the powers that he has, will try to even go above and beyond the powers that are afforded him. And I'm afraid of the pen. I'm afraid of the phone. I'm afraid of what he's going to leave America in the shape of. We're never going to be able to crawl out from underneath the weights that he's going to put on us. His energy program, if you've read and studied what he wants us to commit to as a nation and how it's going to affect you and me and everybody, our pocketbooks, what we have to spend and what we will not have to spend, I am so afraid of that energy program because literally I see where we can't afford to make up the heat in our homes.
Well, we can't, and the thing of it is it's going to hurt those people that he's supposed to be the big champion for, and that is the poor and those who need extra help and stuff. He's always said, oh, yeah, we need to help out, so we'll give them Obama phones, we'll give them that, we'll give them everything. And by doing this, he is going to hurt them the absolute most, because their power bills and energy bills will go up so high, they won't be able to even stay in their homes. And it is really sad. And what he wants to do is, and I've said this before, is they are going to get into high gear and go through and just roll over everything, because there's enough American people out there that aren't paying attention to what's going on. Nobody will say anything. Nobody will do anything. The Congress is right in that same group. They won't stand up against him or do anything, which I don't understand, other than they've been blackmailed is the only thing I can figure. But nobody will stop him, and that's what they're counting on. They're counting that nobody will cause any kind of, no, we're not going to do it, like happened in 2009 when the Tea Party stood up and said, we don't want this and we don't want that. And unless people are willing to start standing up and screaming to high heaven, and that reminds me, did everybody write their senators and their congressmen about the Iran vote? I mean, we've got to keep our leaders right in check by keeping in touch with them every few days if we have to, so that they know that we are watching and we're paying attention, and they better be on the right side of the vote.
And I will say this, I am appalled, I'm embarrassed, and I'm very worried of the actions and the verbal threats, if you will, from someone like Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. I don't trust him. I think he's the poorest man for the job, and I think basically he's in bed with this administration. I think a lot of the Republicans are in bed with this administration because they're too cowardly to stand up for what's right for their constituents. Would you agree or not with what I just said?
Oh, absolutely, and Boehner is too, because anybody who says, I don't like this, it's like, okay, we're going to get you off of any committees that you're on. You're not going to have any say. And it's just like a Gestapo. I mean, we don't have freedom of speech. We don't have, there's absolutely no way that if you go to Washington to defend Idaho, that you start saying what Idahoans want, you're going to be very popular. Mm-hmm. But instead, no, we're just going to kick you right out of any kind of positions you've got, and you can't say what you want, just like Senator Lee. He's voicing the opinions of Utah and telling them, hey, we're not going by the Constitution, and this is serious. We've got to get back to the Constitution. And boy, it was, well, we got to get rid of him. We'll just get him right out of office. And it starts right at the Republican thing, but I think it actually probably started with the president, and the president saying, you better get rid of him, McConnell, and so they'll start the machine after you.
Yeah. Quickly, I've only got 2 minutes left. What about the Tea Party? What's going on?
Well, we have a meeting next Thursday night. I'm in the process, and I think I've got it nailed, and I'll be looking at it this weekend of the Farming in Fear video, which is a government overreach on farmers back in Virginia. But there's also a meeting tonight, if you have a DVR and you want to attend the meeting on the refugee thing in Twin Falls. If anybody wants to know where that's at or whatever, they can call me. So.
All right. Well, Rita, I just absolutely enjoy every conversation we have with you on Thursdays. Real quick, what do you think will take place tonight? Will it escalate quickly, Trump's popularity in the polls, or do you think we're going to start seeing a slide? Real short answer. Go ahead.
Well, I think that we'll probably start seeing a little bit of a slide as some of these others come into their own and have their own ideas and show what kind of leaders they are. Okay.
Rita Ramsey, I always look forward to having you on the air. God bless, and we'll talk to you next Thursday.
Okay, thanks, Sab.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Very nice lady. I enjoy having her on the program. Rita Ramsey, thank you very much. Let's see, what else have I got to tell you about real quick. I wanted to remind you, the Caring Cowboys. Yes, the 4th annual Caring Cowboys Beef Counts Open Calf Roping. This is going to be so exciting, honestly. They're bringing in all the top pro cowboy calf ropers in the world are thinking about coming in for this big rope on August 16th at the Jerome County Fairgrounds. And, of course, the proceeds are going to help generate food for United Against Hunger. It's an absolutely great cause. It's going to be at the Jerome County Fairgrounds, and that's going to be on August 16th. Wow, it's going to be good. If you like roping, you're going to see the best right there at that event. You know what? Right now, I got to admit, a bowl of cereal at 4 o'clock this morning did not cut the cake. I'm hungry, and I'm starving to death. And I know where you should go. Listen to this. Let's talk first and foremost about Taco Bandito. 2301 Overland in Burley. Steak, I'm swallowing because right now I'm just absolutely starved. Steak and chicken burritos. Oh, it's fresh off the grill. You're going to love it. And breakfast burritos. And they got a new lime ranch dressing that is absolutely fantastic. You're going to love all the food on the menu at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Stop in and see them today. How about Steve-O's? 290 South, 600 west of Heyburn. Food made the way you like it. Oh, my goodness. They've got the best doggone French fries, and they got that patio that's open with the good weather on Friday and Saturday evenings, and sometimes even have music out there. You're going to love it, and they've got some great, great menu items like pork chops with salad and choice of potatoes, and the delicious knock your boots off good Steve-O's nacho fries. Oh, cheese and jalapeno peppers at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 west of Heyburn. Wow. And let's move over to Burgers, etc. 124 South Oneida in Rupert, 700 Overland in Burley. Listen to this. I don't know how they do this. Root beer floats only 99 cents after 3 p.m. until the end of August. Oh, wow. Delicious burgers, bacon burgers, taco salads, my goodness, and fresh strawberry milkshakes. And I'll tell you what, this is going to be fantastic. You stop in right after the Cache County Fair and Rodeo and enjoy the great food right there at Burgers, etc. 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. Now, last but not least, don't forget AC Drive-In. 601 East Main in Burley, and they've got the orange and lemonade freezes. Ooh, cool you off. Along with a great chicken fried steak sandwich. That is absolutely delicious. And the fries, and the fry sauce, and the famous Farmer Brown burgers. Oh, my, they're good. All the food is good at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. And those are just a few great places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. And I am. Coming up next hour, what have we got? Well, we're going to be talking to a lovely lady, and that happens to be Debbie Critchfield, and she's the communications director for the Cassia County Schools in our Cassia County School Days. Then we're going to have a visit with what's going on in the fun world of ATVs, etc. at Let's Ride. And then at 10:32 this morning, you want to tune in because I do have Heidi Ganal, and she is with the Carly Fiorina campaign, and she's going to be talking to us about her Carly's chances of getting into the top tier of contestants for the GOP nod. That should be very interesting, so you tune in. Zeb at the Ranch, I'll be back in 6. Don't go away. Oh, my goodness. Good morning, and welcome back to our third and final hour on this Thursday. Zeb at the Ranch with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations. Thank you very much. Along with some of our great advertisers, and they include Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, and, of course, our friends at Valleywide Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Everything for the farm, the home, and the ranch at Valleywide Home and Ranch. You know, the flies are starting to come in, and if all of a sudden you hear I'll give you the sound it's going to sound like. You hear that? That is one that's going to die. He has been buzzing around in my studio for the last 2 hours, and just when I turn the microphone on, there he is, landing on the microphone. Testy and pesty little bugger. Anyway, now that I've got that taken care of, don't forget to Ted's Diesel Electric is moving to 635 21st Street in Hayburn. Doug Martin getting everything all boxed up and ready to go. He can rebuild your starters, alternators, generators, everything from lawnmowers to locomotives, and he sells brand new too. Ted's Diesel Electric moving to 635 21st Street in Hayburn. Oh, by the way, let's take a look real quick as to the menu choices today and the special at the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. I love this. No kidding, this is one of my favorites. Chicken cordon bleu, served with veggies, a choice of a side, super salad. Ooh, chicken cordon bleu at the Chadwick Sports Grill. Like I said, with all the other menu choices and really neat people, great environment, you're going to love dining at the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. Today, with chicken cordon bleu. Sounds good. Let's see what else have we got to tell you about here real quick this morning. Next Monday on the program, we have got Doug Johnson has done a really good investigative report on what's going on with the voting and the two-party system in America with the Democrats and the Republicans, and how really, in many and most cases, they have been kind of merged together. So don't miss that next week on Monday at 9:06. Doug Johnson from Colorado, a very dear friend of ours, and he's got a great blog called the Horse Sense blog, and you can read all about it. There you go. Also, real quick, let me see where I'm at here on my list. I want to remind you about some of the Cassia County merchants that are supporting and promoting the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo for 2015. It's going to be August 17th through the 22nd, and our thanks also go out to Butte Irrigation. Hello, they've got 2 locations serving you, 116 South, 600 West, Highway 27 in Paul, and the new one right there on Red Cap Corner north of Kimberly. You stop in and see them today or give them a call. Super folks that absolutely right now are offering big per tower rebates from Zomatic and huge discounts from Butte Irrigation to make fall the best time to buy a new Zomatic pivot. They will get you wet at Butte Irrigation. You get a hold of them today. Perkins and the Best Western, 800 North Overland in Burley. Oh, skip the drive-in, skip the drive-through. Go to Perkins. They've got great dishes available like fresh chicken, chicken salad, big BLT with fries, jumbo shrimp, and this one I got to have, the famous buttermilk pancake breakfast. Delicious at Perkins at the Best Western Inn, 800 North Overland in Burley. And last but not least, these people can build anything. They have, they will, they can. Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley, and they will build storage containers and conveyors for your factory and your warehouses. They really know when it comes to building. Please give Tim a call today. Set up an appointment at 678-9204 or call his cell at 431-7314. Streamline Precision, and they all urge you to be a part of the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo, August 17th through the 22nd. You know, we started this a long time ago, and we thought when we started this segment, Cassia County School Days, that maybe it would last for a while and kind of wear out. It's growing in popularity. I get a lot of calls, I get a lot of notes, I get a lot of people saying, hey, that was really interesting as to what's going on in our school system with the Cassia County School Days segment. And we really thank two great sponsors that have helped support it all the way through its beginning. A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley for all your children's clothing and all the games and all the baby material, the cribs, everything at A Child's World. Stop in and see them today. These are really nice people working and serving you at 1308 Overland in Burley. And also Ambulatory Surgery Center. And if you need knee surgery or if you need a colonoscopy or carpal tunnel syndrome surgery, by golly, they've got highly qualified doctors right there that will save you money with the surgeries at Ambulatory Surgery Center, 1344 Highland. Number to call, 677-8888. With all that being said, right now on the line is a very nice lady, and we welcome the Cassia County Schools Communications Officer, Debbie Critchfield. Good morning.
And good morning to you.
Talk for a while. I'm out of air.
That was a long intro. Absolutely.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Hey,
we're ready to get going in the school mode. We've got our registration coming up next Wednesday and Thursday,
oh my,
12th and 13th, and so that's a little bit of a kickoff into the new school year.
All right, honestly, you have children in school, you're a mom that's very devoted to your kids. Didn't the school year end quickly and summer go by like a flash, and now you're getting ready to send them back again?
Oh, I couldn't agree more. If I really think about it, it almost makes me want to burst into tears, because it was a fast summer.
And now mom has got to send them back to school, and there's a lot of things to consider about going back to school. One of the subjects I talked to you about that I'd like you to discuss a little bit, there are various school districts around America that are sick and tired of all the kids playing, I got something you don't have, fancy clothing, etc. And I've talked to some administrators across the board, Michigan, some in Wisconsin, some down in Arkansas, Texas, etc. And they are considering going to a very simplified uniform type basis, whether it's just a white shirt, white blouse, black pair of slacks, or a black skirt, whatever. What are your thoughts about uniformity in the school system?
That's been a topic that we have seen pop up here and there over the school years. In fact, Cassia High School actually does enforce a dress code. They have khaki colored pants, styled pants for their young ladies and young men, and then a black or dark colored or navy blue polo type shirt is what those students wear every day of the week. All of our dress code policies are left individually to the schools. However, there is some uniformity. Certainly we don't want anything that is revealing or in poor taste or that advertises things that are illegal, T-shirts and so forth. And so there are some common rules. School to school, however, some of those things vary.
What does it do, Debbie, in your opinion and your study on this, what does it do to the mindset of the students, pro or con, and also the administration? Is it too much of a kind of a control atmosphere or not? Explain how you feel about that.
Well, and I can see both sides of it. And I know when I actually was a school trustee many years ago, this was a topic that came up, and the community was divided pretty evenly on it as well. There's the side that says we understand that there are some benefits, and we see some benefits of the uniformity in dress, and in some cases discipline had gone down. It did remove some of those class-type barriers that we see with students. The other side is we have parents who say, is it the school's job to tell my child what to wear? If I want to buy them clothing that fits within your standards, that should be my right as a parent.
Okay, so as it stands right now, you don't see any changes towards one way or the other. It's just kind of come as you are, but be respectful.
I would say yes. Now, that isn't to say that conversations won't come down the road, especially where we do have a high school that does enforce a dress code, and I know they're very pleased with it. When they came and presented it to the board several years ago, hey, we'd like to give this a try and see how it works. They're sold on it at this point and wouldn't go back. Getting it into other schools and how other communities would be receptive of it, I think is a great conversation to have. I will mention that there are actually dress code standards for teachers, too. That is something that our district and our school board is trying to elevate. Having our teachers dress in ways, we have expectations for our students when they come, and as a professional in the classroom, they would like to also maintain some standards where they're concerned.
Absolutely. Real quick, in the time we have remaining, I want to talk to you about another subject, and I have many stories supplied to me by various education think tanks and also some conservative viewpoints from people around the United States about school food, school cafeterias, and the adherence to the government's suggestions on school diets. Many schools across the United States are saying no to the government mishmash and the Mama Obama campaign. What are your thoughts about school cafeterias and government involvement?
Well, I think anytime we can limit our government involvement, we're certainly better off. This is one topic that definitely unifies our states, no matter the differences, whether they're geographical or cultural. I think most states are united in the fact that they would like to see some changes made with the instruction, direction, requirements for our school lunches. I actually took the opportunity to visit with our school lunch supervisor and ask her locally what kinds of products we're able to use and how she is able to incorporate foods that are locally grown into the menus. And she has, over the last year or so, increased the amount of local food that we see. For example, Chobani yogurt is now classified under the federal requirements, and we're able to utilize that comes from a local company. She's also incorporating potatoes made from Simplot. She said that all of our milk is local, and most of our fresh produce is actually locally sourced. And so I think that we're going to see greater participation from local food growers. However, here's the however, it also has to fit within those federal guidelines, and they're restrictive, and they're difficult to manage into menus as far as sugar content, sodium content, so many grains. And certainly I am not against having healthy choices for children. I think the big rallying point around the country has been the number of calories, that it's shy. I mean, it's on the low side.
Not only that, but I, as a parent, as a taxpayer, and someone that is very concerned about this situation, I am concerned about the waste factor. USA Today carried a story this last week about the waste factor in the school lunch programs. The kids are taking their trays, dumping it in the trash, and then undercover going on kind of a black market type thing, eating things that are brought into the school out of their lockers, etc., because they're not adhering to the low-calorie, low-likability of school lunch programs. Pardon me?
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. In fact, what I think was one of the most foolish laws that came about was the removal of vending machines from our schools, where we can no longer sell soda or any kind of snack that doesn't meet the federal requirement. And so if whoever had that great idea thought that children would immediately, especially our high school students, say, oh, this means, I can't buy, cookies anymore at the school. I guess I'll eat carrots. No, they're going and they're either bringing them from home or they're going outside of the school. And instead of the school getting the benefit of that, the kids are still buying it. It hasn't changed their habits.
Debbie, we could go on and on about this, but I will go back to my time in high school. And you can come look at my yearbook of all the kids, and I had a couple hundred that graduated with me. There were two kids that had a weight problem. One couldn't help it because of medical. The other one was just very obese because of their choosing. But out of all that class, we ate. We had snack bar in the morning. We could have ice cream. We could have Cheetos. We could have everything. But we also had very strict and stringent physical education classes.
Oh, there's no question that, in general, the level of activity has decreased nationally. And that's, again, where I kind of pull Idaho out of those statistics a little bit. Some of these laws and rules and requirements are reflective of a demographic that doesn't fit Idaho. We have, for the most part, very active children, and it's not just sports-related, but we have kids that work on farms or work on their neighbors' farms who also have outdoor kind of activities, and we live in a state where you can do outdoor activities, whether it's winter or summer. And it's not a one-size-fit-all in a lot of these situations.
Well, and I'm almost out of time, and I hate to end the conversation because we had other topics, but I want to elaborate just a little bit more on that. Our kids are active. We have a rural community, basically, and to say to some football player going through the hot lunch program, this is all you get, and then he goes to football practice after school's over, then goes home and does chores, and then finally sits down at a meal maybe at 6:30 or 7 o'clock that night, we're actually damaging these children's health.
Well, you actually just described my sons in that example. We've lived that life, and as parents, if you're worried or concerned that your children don't have enough, you need to send snacks and those types of things. And definitely, I think on the federal level, it's time to make some changes there, and I hope our own representatives that go to the Capitol are aware of that and motivated to do that. Having said all of that, I certainly don't want this to be a bash on our local lunch ladies and the work that they do, because they make the most of the situation.
Absolutely.
And, try to provide, it's a job. I mean, I sat down to, not only, you have to look at the salt, you have to look at the fat, you have to look at the grains, and then you try to figure out a menu that's under $2. It's crazy.
Not only that,
ladies, what they do is amazing.
I totally agree, and we had some of those people on our program, thanks to you, in programs in the past, and I think let's do that again, because I think the general public should know exactly what you just said. They are absolutely trying to pull a rabbit out of their hat every day, and they do a wonderful job, and I'm glad you brought that up. We did not have time this morning to talk about two other categories, so I guess what I'm going to do is say, how about next week? Are you available?
That'll be great.
All right. Debbie Critchfield, Cassia County Schools Communications Officer, thank you so much for being on the program this morning.
Have a great day.
You too. Thank you. And, of course, School Days in Cassia County brought to you by A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley and Ambulatory Surgery Center, 1344 Highland in Burley. Call them, 677-8888. Right now, we're going to go to the phone line, and we have an old friend that talked me into four-wheeling in the first place, and by golly, am I glad he did. It was initially a little frosty at my home when he wheeled into the yard with that trailer of four-wheelers, but my wife softened it, now she loves it. Nick at Let's Ride, how are you this morning?
I'm trying to get him on, sir.
Oh, you haven't got him yet. Okay, hurry. Get him on the air.
Will do.
All right, go. We're going to have Nick from Let's Ride on momentarily. We got to get him on. I want to talk to him about four-wheeling and everything else for the rest of the summer going on into the fall. And don't forget, coming up at 10:32 or 3, right in that area, we're going to have Heidi Ganal, and she is a spokesman for the Carly Fiorina campaign, and she's going to be talking to us from Denver, Colorado. And hopefully we can find out some of the intricacies of how they, the campaign managers, are trying to move Carly up into maybe the top tier of candidates for the GOP nomination. Let's check with Wheels. Do we have him on the line?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Good morning. I gave you a great big build-up a moment ago. I thank you for getting me into ATVs, and you weren't on the phone, but you are now. Nick at Let's Ride, how are you?
I'm great, Zeb, and I hope you didn't lie too much about me.
I had to keep it under control. I did a good job.
Good deal.
Hey, man, I got to tell you that I really do thank you for introducing us into the four-wheelers, the ATVs. It's absolutely so much fun. It's absolutely a great way to see the backcountry of America and the state of Idaho. What's the interest level? Is it still as high, or what's going on in your industry?
It's still, up there at the top, and the people are coming in, and it's a great way to see the outdoors. I had a couple come in yesterday, and they're just looking to get ATV to go see the country, and, there's stuff that you'll never see on foot, because it's too far back in there. It's a good way to go see the sights. I mean, there's a lot of beautiful country in this great state of Idaho.
Nick, you've been doing this dirt biking and everything else for a long, long time. Whatever made you think you could leave your former profession and get into this? What was the turning point?
I've always loved the outdoors and the bikes, and, since I was 5 years old, I've been riding bikes, and I just always... I love the industry, and so moved into it thinking, well, it'd be fun to do, and it is a lot of work, but it is, and man, we meet a lot of great people, and most of the time you're selling stuff, it's people are happy, and they leave with smiles on their face, and they come back and they bring you pictures of all their good adventures, and it just makes you feel good.
Let me ask you this in the time remaining here this morning. Of course, you're over at Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and Heyburn. But, Nick, there's a lot of encroachment on your industry like there is with the beef industry and other industries. There's always those that want to try to infringe upon what you do and how you do it. What about using the BLM and the Forest Service lands? We all that use these machines, these ATVs, should be cognizant of what's going on and be helpful to be a spokesperson to help fight what's trying to be closed off.
Oh, yeah, and every voice counts. And, always be, go buy your off-road sticker and go buy your off-road plate. Be legal out there and stay on the trails. And, just if we keep it all nice and maintained and not abuse the land, there'll be that many more trails left open for us. But yeah, it's if they're planning on closing a trail or whatever, and you should speak up and say, hey, I use that every weekend or whatever, and keep it open. I mean, it's our land to use, and if we take care of it, they'll let us keep using it.
Are there any new innovative ideas right now in four-wheeling? I mean, have ATVs really changed, or are they basically the same year after year?
No, they keep changing. I mean, they keep getting better and better, and these side-by-sides are getting, really taking over the market, and so they're making, 50-inch side-by-sides, and I really think, they'll probably start changing trail widths and stuff, as many side-by-sides and different widths they are. They keep changing stuff all the time, and we get new product constantly coming out that's changed and better, and improve ride, improve power, improve steering. They just keep pushing the envelope.
And as far as the accessories are concerned, when you get an ATV or whatever, you've got everything over there in the accessories that they may need while they're up in the hills.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they got everything and anything. They plows, bags, winches, hot grips. You can, if you want to do, you can put a full cab on a four-wheeler if you want. Keep you out of the environment. But, yeah, we've got all that stuff and can install it and make you happy.
Hey, real quick, and also you've got the watercraft. Still plenty of time to enjoy going out on the water here in southern Idaho.
Well, it's been a little cold lately, but it is the 1st of August, so we still got a good 2 months of good water riding. We still got the watercraft. And I just built a snowmobile, put on the floor, getting ready for that season. So I've had a few people looking forward to the snow season. So I got that going on, too.
All right, real quick, tell us the hours of Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and Heyburn. When are you open, and when can they come over?
We're open from 9 to 6, Monday through Friday, and then Saturday, 9 to 4.
All right. And you know my tagline that I threw on your business. What is it? Give me the tagline. I want to see if you can remember it.
We sell fun.
Where the fun is sold. And my good friend Nick, if it wasn't for him, I would have never been introduced to four-wheeling, and I appreciate it. Let's ride. Nick, God bless you, man. Have a good weekend.
Well, thank you, Zeb, and you've been a very good customer, and I appreciate all the good word you always give me.
All right, sir. Have a good day. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Zeb. Bye.
I love that business, and I think a lot of those people. Let's ride Highway 24 between Rupert and Hayburn. Holy smokes, we got to go over to the main studios. I'll be back in 3 minutes.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KVAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Thank you very much and welcome back. We're going to have our guest with us just momentarily. A quick reminder all this week. The great big Jerome County Fair and Rodeo is in full swing. And tonight, of course, Tough Enough to Wear Pink Night at the rodeo. Tomorrow night, they're going to have pig wrestling and a tug of war in the rodeo arena. And then on Saturday night, the great big monster trucks, along with all the other fair activities right there at your Jerome County Fair and Rodeo all this week at the Jerome County Fairgrounds. Let's get right into it. We're running a little bit late here this morning. I apologize for that, and I'd like to say good morning to a very nice lady and a major part of the Carly Fiorina for America campaign. Good morning to Heidi Ganal. How are you?
Hi, Zeb, I'm doing great. How are you today?
Great, except is there a way that you can get off the speakerphone and just go to a handheld, Heidi, because we're getting all kinds of echo on speakerphones?
Oh, shoot. It's actually a speakerphone, but I can give you your producer another number to call in if that will work.
Yeah, let's do that because it's such an echo. If you would do that, I'll do a couple of commercials and possibly a weather forecast. If you could call back or have him call you on another number that's handheld, the echo on speakerphones is not good for major radio. So I appreciate it, and we'll get right back with you, Heidi. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Speakerphones not good in the radio business, and we'll change that. And Wheels, get her number, call her right back, and we'll take care of that. I would like to also say that we've got a lot of things cooking for next week. We're going to be going into quite a few different topics. We're going to be talking about CSI as one of our topics. I am in the process of finalizing, and I hope I can get it done today. Catherine Herridge of Fox News, hopefully to fit her schedule, and she is so busy right now with all the things that are going on across overseas and right here in America with the terrorists and terror threats and everything, so we're going to try to get her on the program this next week. Also, if Wheels can do this, what I'll do is do the weather real quick. While you're dialing also, I'm going to make him really ambidextrous over there. While you're dialing our lady back, Scarro's Meats is our sponsor of our weather forecast for this hour, 331 North Road, Jerome. Number to call, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat one bite at a time. And believe me, they are good. Here now, quickly, is the weather.
Here's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch as he gets ready to take off for the week. Looks like sunny skies for today. Highs are going to be in the mid-80s, lows in the mid-50s. Slightly breezy winds out of the west, right around 11 miles an hour. Now, don't be surprised if we do have some afternoon rain showers and thunderstorms, which is very, very common for this time of year. Expect a low near 55 for tonight. For tomorrow, going to be cloudy. Still a slight chance of rain showers and thunderstorms in the forecast with a high of 80. And then it looks like mid-70s with the rain showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for Saturday. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
The hot summer barbecue special from Scarro's Meats. $199 buys you 50 pounds of delicious steaks and New York strips, sirloin tips, ground beef, pork chops, brats. Oh, it's fantastic with Scarro's Meats. 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657. Let's go over to Wheels. Have you got this lovely lady back on the line, Wheels? I appreciate it. And once again, I want to say thank you for your patience to a wonderful lady. And she is absolutely supporting Carly Fiorina for president. Good morning, Heidi Ganal. How are you?
Hi again, Zeb. I'm doing great.
Hey, God bless you for your patience, and you sound so much better. Heidi, give us a little background of Carly and her run for president, and let me preface your remarks by saying I wish that she could get more exposure. I wish she could get more people behind her. I like what she says, and I feel bad that she's been diminished to the happy hour debate at 5 o'clock this afternoon.
Well, thanks, Deb, and we're very excited to get Carly on that debate stage today, and I think that she's going to get a lot of attention after people see how incredible she is at communicating the issues and how to solve those issues. So we think it's going to be a fabulous debate for her, and I think she's going to make a lot of progress with getting in touch with people and for people seeing what she has to say.
Heidi,
if we want real change, we can't send in another career politician to fix the problems that they all made to begin with.
Absolutely.
So I love Carly because she's not a Washington insider. She has real-world executive experience, and she understands how the economy works. And honestly, she knows how to unlock the potential that America provides and individuals provide too.
What do you think can be done, Heidi, now that you're in Colorado and you're the co-chair for Carly in that state? But what else can be done? I mean, sure, we've got a lot of time till the election, but on the other hand, she needs the exposure. She needs the media. She needs to be addressing the issues in front of primetime audiences. What more can be done to elevate her? What can you do?
Well, Carly has done an incredible job of doing interviews all over the place, even on places like The View and, not so friendly news stations. And I think the message is starting to get through. The momentum we're seeing on the ground is incredible. People are getting very excited about Carly, and anywhere I go, and I even bring it up, I'm hounded by people that want to get involved. So I think it's starting to happen, and the debate is just going to ramp that up even better. But as far as your audience, the way they can help is just listening to Carly's interviews, listening to her on the various talk shows, getting out on social media, joining her Facebook page, her Twitter feed, and go to carlyforamerica.com and you can find all of those links. But just start helping us spread the word.
Heidi, there is I would say a concentrated effort by the Democrats. And, you always hear from Debbie Wasserman Schultz and others, the Republicans, they have the war on women. I'm looking at this thing from the other side. I think if anybody's got a war on women, it's the Democrats. And I'm looking at Hillary and I'm going, holy smokes, how could anybody with half any common sense want to put her in the Oval Office as a president? And I really like the stands that Carly Fiorina has had, and I would love to see a debate in the future with her and Hillary. Tell us a little bit about where Carly stands on certain issues.
Well, I think a debate between Carly and Hillary would be fabulous. I don't think there would be any question who the best woman for the White House would be after that debate.
Amen.
I mean, Carly believes in unlocking potential in all human beings, not just women, but men too, and children. All the people in our country deserve the opportunity to be the best that they can be. And that's what Carly's about. She is all about the American dream. I mean, she worked her way up from a secretary at a small 9-person firm to become the CEO of Hewlett-Packard, one of the largest tech companies in the world. And some things that people don't know about Carly is her incredible foreign affairs experience. I mean, I think you've probably heard the soundbite where she talks about Hillary having racked up a lot of mileage, but not a lot of, substance to her foreign affairs experience and her role as Secretary of State. Well, Carly, when she was heading up Hewlett-Packard, that's a company that has a presence in 170 countries around the world. So she got to meet all kinds of foreign leaders and build relationships that would help her tremendously if she becomes commander-in-chief. But she also was recruited by the then CIA director to serve as the chairman of the CIA's External Advisory Board. And she worked very closely with the top brass at the CIA to bring more transparency and accountability to the intelligence agencies. So she's got so much incredible experience, and she supports women in unlocking their potential and being the best that they can be and giving them every opportunity to do all the things they want to do and live out their American dream.
Let me ask you this, Heidi, and it's an issue that really has come to the forefront over the last couple of weeks, and it's been one of the most heinous things I've had a chance to observe and listen to, and that's the videotapes of Planned Parenthood doctors talking about the aborted fetuses, the aborted human being babies, and talking about selling the body parts, and Planned Parenthood in general with some of the heinous things they do, giving abortions to 13-year-old girls without any notification of the parents. I want to see the budgeting and the funding for Planned Parenthood shut down. What are Carly's thoughts on this?
Oh, she's as disgusted as the rest of us are, and she absolutely believes we need to take the funding away from Planned Parenthood. Carly believes that science supports the sanctity of life, and at 20 weeks or 5 months into a pregnancy, that child feels pain, and they can suck their thumb and yawn and stretch and make faces. An unborn child at 20 weeks is a human life, and there's something called the Pain-Capable Unborn Child Protection Act that protects the unborn. It limits abortions after 20 weeks of pregnancy. And Carly's first foray into this is going to be making sure that legislation is put in place to protect the lives of those babies. And I think that's a great first step.
Right now we are underneath a shroud of terror threats. We are seeing the encroachment on our soil of ISIS and Al-Qaeda making threats that they're going to increase more very, very dangerous events for our American public. What are Carly's thoughts, that she could do as president to help eliminate a threat that is now on our shores?
Well, Carly has talked about this, specifically saying that the first thing she would do is to deal with ISIS is instead of having a Camp David conference to talk our Arab allies and do a bad deal with Iran, she would have had a Camp David conference to talk about supporting our Arab allies and how we can help them to fight ISIS. There are a whole lot of things that we've been asked to do by our allies who they know this is their fight, and we're not doing any of them. So first off, she would hold a summit and talk with them about that and support them instead of hampering their efforts. And then on Iran, Carly has stated that she would immediately impose crushing financial sanctions on Iran.
Absolutely.
We have a great deal of influence over whether Iran can move money through the financial system, and so we ought to be using that influence and that leverage. And she wouldn't let that pressure up until they agreed to full open inspections of every nuclear facility they had at any time.
I like what you're saying. I like what she stands for, but there's another problem too, and it's the Obama energy plan that I think will cripple America and put us into a third world rate with green energy, solar and wind power, and thinking they can replace coal and oil. It's absolutely pie in the sky, and the American public is going to suffer, and the American public is going to pay for it. Where does Carly stand on energy?
Well, Carly believes energy is fundamental to bringing back the potential in America and making us the leader on the planet for energy production and energy independence. And I think that ties into the whole climate change conversation and these, incredibly tough EPA regulations that are coming down the pipe that are going to really hamper the energy industry. And I think the answer to that problem is to understand the science. We can shut down everything in this country and it will make no difference because the scientists are clear. In order to really combat this, we need an effort that is global in scope over many decades that's going to cost trillions of dollars. And so Carly believes, as with many problems, the answer to this problem is not regulation, it's innovation. And frankly speaking, the EPA is shutting down every bit of innovation in this area. And she doesn't think we're paying enough attention to all of the science, not just the science that confirms whatever politician's ideology is, up on the stand speaking about it. So Carly believes we really need to understand the science, innovate, and become the leader again in energy on the planet.
Amen. Another subject, of course, that is on the top of the list for most people is the economy. I feel like we've got our boot heels on the cliff, and all they have to do is just poke us in the chest, and we're going to fall over into the abyss. Economically, we're going to probably be $21 trillion in debt when Obama leaves office. What are her plans, possibly, to restore the economy and get us back as a progressive #1 country in the world?
Well, Carly believes one of the first things we have to do is look at our tax code, which has become so incredibly complex. I mean, tens of thousands of pages. So first thing, of course we should lower rates so we don't have the highest business tax rate in the world. But what we really have to do is radically simplify the tax code. Because regular people and small businesses, entrepreneurs like me, cannot deal with the complexity anymore, and we need to close all those loopholes, all those write-offs. The big guys are the ones that benefit, the powerful, the connected, the wealthy, and the large. We have to do everything in our power to compete for every job in the world by simplifying our tax code and lowering our rates.
What would you say her personality or persona will be this afternoon as she's going against the likes of Lindsey Graham and others? What is she going to try to tell the American audience during her portion of the debate?
I think Carly stays extremely positive. She stays focused on the issues. She's not about attacking other Republicans. She's just about figuring out what the problems are and how to solve those problems to unlock the potential of our country. And I think she'll stay focused on that tonight.
I'll tell you what, I'll let you have the floor for the last word. It sounds to me like you're really sold on Carly Fiorina, that she would make an excellent President of the United States. Go ahead, you've got 1 minute left.
I absolutely believe that. I've grown my own business, and I deal with a lot of the problems that she talks about: government regulation, high tax codes, the burdening society that we live in now. And Carly is all about unlocking potential. And isn't that what America's about? Carly is proof that the American dream still exists, and she wants to make sure that every other citizen in this country has that opportunity.
I really enjoyed having you on, Heidi, and I again apologize for the different phone lines, etc., but thank you, and you got to promise to come back more in the future, especially after we see these first couple of debates. I'll give you a call and try to have you back. How's that?
Oh, thank you, Zeb, and you have a great weekend, and have fun watching that debate. Go Carly.
All right. Thank you, Heidi Ganahl from Colorado, and she is the co-chairman for Carly Fiorina in that area, and thank you very much for being on the program. Nice lady right there. And you know something, when I look at Carly Fiorina and I listen to her, she says the right things, and you can tell that she means the right things. And I've said on this program a long time ago, I would absolutely cherish if there could be a debate between her and Hillary Clinton. I know she will not back down, and she will look Hillary right in the eye and tell her exactly where the mashed potatoes came from. I like that lady, and I hope that she can fare better than the second tier of candidates in the GOP 17. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. And we got a couple of minutes left. Give me a jingle on the landline. I'd like to hear from you. So pick up the phone and give us a call as we get things ready to wrap up for this week on Zeb at the Ranch. While we are waiting for the call that I know you are ready to make, don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations. You know, I'm honored. I am honored and I'm humbled that they have been with us for a long, long time as our major sponsor, all 7 locations. And as I've said many times in the past, I never will forget the meeting of Mr. Les Schwab up in Prineville, Oregon, years ago. What a dynamic man, what a nice man, and I can see why this business is as big as it is today. And all of your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers have on sale right now many of the top passenger car and light truck tires, like the Eclipse tire, all-season traction, smooth, quiet ride, the Strategy tire for your cars, your year-round traction, 60,000-mile warranty. And for the light trucks on sale, the Open Country HT, you stop in today and check out with your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers the tires you need for your style of driving. And don't forget, too, they've got the very best in brake service with really top-notch, professionally trained technicians, the best in front-end alignments, shocks and struts, batteries. They care. That's really true. They care with the best in service to you. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, John on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. They care. So do we, and we urge you to be a part of the Jerome County Fair and Rodeo as it goes on this week. And then in the weeks coming up, we're going to be talking about the Gooding County Fair and Rodeo. We're going to be talking about the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. We're going to be talking about the Twin Falls County Fair and Rodeo. All kinds of activity going on. Once again, I had a call during the 10 o'clock hour, and tonight up in Cary at the rodeo grounds, they are going to have a team roping put on by my good buddy Dave Zanino, and it's going to be register at 6:30, rope at 7. That's team roping tonight up in Cary at the rodeo grounds. Sign up at 6:30, rope at 7. And Dave Zanino from over in the Rupert area supplying the steers for that big roping tonight. Next Monday on the program, Alliance Defending Freedom, Doug Johnson and Charmy Lavelle talking about the Idaho Rodeo Hall of Fame and the inductees and all the events going on this year at the Gooding County Fair and Rodeo. So don't miss next Monday's program. Wheels, what are you going to do this weekend? Are you going to get outside and just enjoy being free from the radio program? What's on your schedule?
I think you might have just summed up everything for me. I mean, you didn't even really have to ask me that.
You're looking forward to getting away from the radio station? No. Be careful what you say, Wheels.
Hey, you can't twist my words around like that. No, just kidding.
All right, listen, I want to tell you you're doing a great job, and don't forget, as you probably are aware, that coming up on the 20th, of course, is the next Lunch Bunch, and you will be there, will you not?
Yes, sir, I will. Maybe I'll bring my mom and my grandma again.
That would be nice. They're very nice ladies. Have a good weekend, old buddy. Yeah. Zeb at the Ranch wishing everybody to have a good weekend. And don't forget, next Monday, tune in again at 8:06 as we'll saddle the horse and ride for 3 hours right here on K-Bar, 12:30 a.m., and then streaming live all over the universe on ZebBell.com. God bless you, and remember, the way things were are the way things ought to be. Take care, everybody.